Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic:
what is slowly disappearing from the society and you hate to see it to happen? Patience. Everyone wants instant everything now. I watched 7 adults wait patiently in line yesterday as a little girl counted her change in order to buy a pop. We all smiled and recalled days when we had to do that as kids. Even sometimes as an adult. It was surprising and refreshing. Kid, oh, how nice, she's learning. Old person, holy shit, ever heard of a fucking credit card, granny? Quote. Accountability. I see all of the accountability being sent to the bottom. Trickle down accountability. Empathy. It's like for many people they can't even wrap their minds around it as even a concept. They can't for 1 second imagine a scenario that doesn't completely revolve around them. It's astonishing to witness how callous we've all become. It's, I got mine so fuck you, to the nth degree. There are people who literally cannot empathize because of bad education and emotional constipation. It's absolutely maddening. Everyone else already covered the big stuff, so mine is a minor extension of that. When did it become commonplace, at least in the UK, to not use headphones when listening to stuff on your phone in public? The endless sound loops of TikTok, etc., full blast on the bus. At 7 a.m. Ugh. Guess this falls under common decency. Edit, to all the idiots replying to this saying it's an immigration problem, you couldn't be more wrong. I live in the West Mids and the main culprits on my bus and train journeys are young white girls and elderly white men. Or having loud conversations on speakerphone. This, on one hand, I'm glad people still call each other just to chit-chat. But on the other hand, put the phone to your ear like a normal person. Nobody wants to hear your conversations. Awareness about those around you. Stop staring down at your phone and pay attention when you're walking. The amount of people standing directly in front of opening train doors, still not understanding, and they are blocking the people who want to leave, or people stopping at the end of escalators, then wondering, being angry at people who come up behind them is infuriating. Or people who will leave the grocery cart in the middle of the aisle and not move it even when they see you coming. I was at very busy conference and needed to get upstairs. I got on an escalator behind a gaggle of college-age girls, who proceeded to take 2 steps off the escalator and stop. I shoved past them. They snapped at me. I told them to don't block the escalator and maybe that won't happen. Internet privacy. Not just internet, privacy in general. Congratulations. You're the latest victim of our breached systems. Sorry about your luck, bud, but we will monitor just how bad it really gets for you along the way, for free, but only for 6 months. Whatever, there's a new breach every other fucking day. People's tolerance for minor inconveniences. I have a friend that always rant about every minor inconveniences they experience, and it made me annoyed cause it's too much. Loudly crying, loudly crying. Scientific literacy. Literacy period. If it doesn't have an emoji or an acronym, it's not worth reading, writing or saying. I agree with you, but goddamn do I love replying to friends with the perfect GIF. It's basically a moving hieroglyph, carrying tons of meaning in one image. Basic respect. People just talk to each other any kind of way now like it's normal. Even old people show no respect very often. I work in retail and as a barista, and the things I could tell you. They are old and live in the busy city where nothing is made for them but only for people who work. So they carry a lot of anger and stress and let it out on me. Daily. This job really teaches you to have boundaries. Happy when I can go study. Edit, my comment wasn't really to hate on old people in general, and I don't really hate boomers, I hate disrespectful people, and I was surprised that the frequency of disrespect was higher than I expected. And I expected it less from old people because in my village where I grew up they were not like this, but here in the city they often are, at least when they come for a coffee, which they find way too expensive anyways. It's wild how some folks just take their stress out on others. Respect for handling it. They also carry a lot of resentment and jealousy towards the younger generations. We meme a lot on the elderly getting to buy a house for pennies on a single salary, but I bet almost all of them are very envious and resentful of millennials and Gen Zers for being so free-spirited. A lot of elderly feel like they never got to live and simply worked their whole lives. Third spaces, for many it's just home and work now. Too many of them are unaffordable now, or if you don't live in a huge city aren't good spaces. Virtually all my somewhat small Midwest city has as places to just hang out at are bars. I'd even be happy with a coffee shop that is open past 6 p.m. to hang out in with friends. Post-COVID, almost all the local coffee, ice cream shops close around 4 p.m. now. I'd love to support a local business, but I can't even take my kids out for a treat after school because nothing's open. I don't know what's with that. Critical thinking skills. This and it blows my mind that when so much collective and infinite information is free online. Like if you don't know something, Google it. There's no excuse to not figuring shit out yourself. Learning how to know what you don't know, how to know what's missing, and then go find the correct information is absolutely critical, and yet somehow how missing. I see people make real dumb decisions that easily could have been avoided if they searched out the correct information before acting every day of my life. As a teacher, I think we need a whole system override where we stop teaching facts and memorization of information and focus on teaching critical thinking skills. We have access to all kinds of information thanks to the internet and smartphones in our pockets, but we don't know what to do with it. Trust. Lying has become commonplace and consequence-free. You're dead right about trust. No one trusts their neighbor anymore, and it can be so disheartening. Someone knocks on the door. Serial killer. Stranger tries to spark up a conversation with you. Serial killer, rapist, or scammer. I have easily a dozen coworkers who have just completely quit going to big gatherings like sporting events, concerts, and graduations because they're scared it will be shot up or bombed by domestic or foreign terrorists. Yes, I'm American, so many people just live in constant fear of each other now. Even though, I believe, statistically we are safer as a society now than we ever have been. Our brains have been corrupted by constant exposure to the worst of humanity as seen through the news and social media. The loss of trust cascades into the loss of other things too. For example, social skills. One's ability to own a home. 57% of adults age 18 to 24 still live at home with their parents, and 35% 25 to 30 still live at home with their parents. Cost of living and low wages are slowly pricing us out of owning a home. We are definitely moving towards a socio-economic mode where ownership of anything is being phased out. They want us to lease our cars, rent our homes, stream our music, and run all our video games on servers that they can shut down at any time. This is the bigger problem in my opinion. Living with your parents until you get married is the standard in many cultures, but turning everything into a subscription-based model is an attack on our freedom. You will own nothing, and you will be happy miserable. The median home buyer in 2007 was born in 1968. The median home buyer in 2024 was born in 1968. https://www.reddit.com/r/millennials/s/jadixj40713. This makes me irrationally angry as someone born in 1986. It's crazy how in the past, most 30-year-olds had a house and a couple kids. Now most 30-year-olds are either living at home or renting, and they don't have kids because they can't afford them. If we're being honest, there is a sizable chunk of 30-year-olds today who also no longer feel obliged to have kids and just don't want to have them. Birth rates really don't start to increase until families have an income in the top 0.5% in the US. There's just so many ways to spend your time today. A lot of people decided they don't want to spend it raising more than 1 or 2 children, if any at all. I'd say, genuine connection is definitely slipping away, and it kinda sucks to watch. You know what I mean. Like, people used to really talk, face to face. No phones in the middle, no multitasking. Just being present. Now it's all quick texts, voice notes, likes, and don't get me wrong, I love memes and group chats, but I miss the deep convos at 1 a.m. or those random talks with strangers at a coffee shop. It blew my mind a few months ago when I went to an Olive Garden-type restaurant on a Friday night, and there were several large tables pushed together with about 20 high school students, friends who just got out of their prom. Every single one of these kids had their head down, glued to their phone. Nobody was talking to each other. The only time they would engage in conversation was to look up and ask if someone had liked their post. It was both sad and scary to watch. Damn, that's crazy. I feel like our society is steering towards being dissociated and not forming those genuine convos that actually makes for a thriving society. It's a sad world we live in. We are seriously getting addicted to short-term attention grabbers, myself included unfortunately. Hard to even get through something without instinctively feeling the need to start scrolling on our phone for some sort of instant gratification, entertainment. One of the best things I did was to spend more time outdoors, disconnected. It's so unnatural having our phones on us constantly. Nuance and context. Everybody seems to take everything as a down-the-line 50-50 good, evil thing now. Duality, this. It's not black and white 90% of the time. And there are degrees and spectrums to things. There could be 2 racists and they are both cancelled equally, but one is a Nazi and the other didn't know the proper term to call someone. I'm a black woman and I'm sick of it. It happens with a ton of other things besides racism too, just using that as an example. Yes. Other examples, I don't want innocent Palestinians to die, does not equal anti-Semitism. I agree with aspects of a policy or the problem it's trying to solve, does not mean I support an entire political party or that I am a hypocrite for claiming to hold other views of an opposing party. There are so many more. Facial and social awareness. Common decency. People want to hate each other and will do anything for a reason to continue. I think our governments play a major role in this. Of course they do. If we're busy hating and fighting each other, we tend to not pay any attention to how much our governments are $king us over. Exclamation mark. Hobbies just for fun are fading, and it sucks. Everything now has to be a side hustle. If you bake, people ask if you're selling. If you draw, they ask if you're taking commissions. Not everything needs to be profitable. Some things should just exist because they make you happy. I love to crochet, and the number of people who think you can make a side hustle out of it is astounding. I only make to gift and never sell. I find it soothes my ADHD mind, and I love to create custom pieces for the special people in my life. You can't put a price on that kind of joy, and you'd never be fairly compensated for the time it takes. People think because you can get a knit blanket at Walmart for $20, you should be charging the same for your creation. Yeah, right. It's time-consuming even if you're great at it. My husband's grandma, a literal master at crocheting, made us a gorgeous Afghan when we got married. It is a work of art. She'd been crocheting her whole life and it still took her 4 months to make it. 4 months. Even at minimum wage pay, that would be a lot of money. Agree, not everything needs to be monetized. This is why I write novels with no intention to publish. Partner thinks I'm crazy to spend my free time not making money, but it makes me happy. I've written and recorded 40-ish full-length songs in the last 20 years. I enjoy playing them back while I work and might never release them to the masses.